Obviously, when you're getting ready to turn something in, you need a product that's printed out or delivered electronically. Either way, you'll need a copy of what you've done. So the most common way to submit results would be through a Word file that you either print out or electronically submit. So let's suppose we wanted to take this graph and put it into a Word file. Well, right-clicking on a graph in JMP actually gives you a lot of options, but one of which at the bottom is, well, actually there is a copy graph way down at the bottom, but that's not what I want you to do. What I want you to do for copying, because it works a little bit better for us, is to use this selection tool. You can also hit S on the keyboard to get this tool, this little cross. And now when I grab a plot, I'm just clicking on it, left clicking, shows me kind of what I'm selecting. I can select different parts of the output. I could even select very particular parts of this output. But once I get the piece that I want, I can right click and then I can copy and paste that into Word. So let me show you a few different ways that this can be pasted. So I'll copy. Now let me bring Word up here, or you could use Pages if you're a Mac person. When I go to paste, if I do a plain paste, it usually works pretty well, and that might be sufficient. One trick to get a very pretty picture, well, let me show you the downfalls of plain pasting. Sometimes when you do a plain paste, when you rescale the plot, the words and things can get really blurry. Actually, in this particular example, it didn't happen. Let me show you an example where it will happen. Let me get rid of that. And if I just capture this a little bit differently, say copy, and now I'll do a plain paste here. It looks nice at first glance, but when I zoom in, you can see that these things here are rather pixelated. So I'm going to undo and undo, and instead of pasting regular, I'm going to do a paste special and paste it as an enhanced meta file instead of a plain PNG picture. And what that does is it tells Word or Pages that these numbers here are really numbers, and they should be, you can use a built-in font to make these look really pretty. And you can see if you have to zoom in, they look a little bit nicer. So that's a trick when you paste into Word, is to use enhanced meta file. So the two big tips are, one, to use the selection tool to highlight what you want to copy, and two, when you paste into Word, to use the paste special and enhanced meta file. In our homework, in many cases, it's not a big deal. If you need something that's publication quality, on the other hand, that enhanced meta file will often be necessary. Sometimes you're going to want to work with a table. So let me grab this table and copy, and we'll go back into Word here. Get rid of that picture. And we'll paste the table. So if I paste the table in the plain paste way, it actually does some neat little formatting, and that's nice. That's not a bad looking table. If I pasted special, I can actually paste it as an image, as an enhanced meta file. This is actually a picture, and it's fine to use, but as a picture I can't copy and paste any of these numbers. So if I wanted to move these numbers around in a report or something, it's a little bit difficult. So tables, often you'll do a regular paste and not as a meta file. When I demonstrate things for the class, I often will use this form of pasting so I can show you what JMP output looks like. But in a report, we want things that we can maybe edit and reformat to match the style of our reports. I'll also note that when I pasted this table in, there sure are a lot of digits here, and that's probably overkill. We'll spend some time talking about how we might go about choosing how far to round, but let me show you a tip on how to round things in a very quick way. There's several ways to do this, but let's focus on the easiest one, and that would be to take your table and copy it and paste it into Excel. So I'm going to paste this into Excel, and the neat thing about pasting into Excel is I can highlight some of the values that I'm interested in, and you can see here there are these decimal movers, and now when I click these a couple times you can see how it changes how it's done the rounding, and so I can make these very pretty and round all these maybe to the same decimal place, and I have a very pretty looking clean rounded table. I can then cut and paste from Excel into Word. Maybe I don't need that word length there, so let me just copy this. Then we'll go to Word, and I will paste. And here I have a pretty table in Word. If I want, I can use some of the built-in Word features for the table. If I click on the table here, I believe there's some design tools, and I can choose a table style and make it really pretty.